welcome to Congregation Sheriff Israel. I'm Larry Rafael, Rabbi of the congregation. It's my privilege to be with you here this afternoon. Before Ben continues as the Master of Ceremonies, a word about the space you're sitting in. How many of you are here for the first time? How many of you are Jewish here for the first time? Welcome. This is the third home of Congregation Sheriff Israel. 125 families in 1904 began the construction of this space and opened in October of 1905. And after the quake and fire of 06, this was the largest building left standing in the city. Because of that, it became the temporary home of the Hall of Justice and the Superior Court. And it has been a home for the community, Jewish in general, for 107 years. And it is a privilege for us to be able to open the doors today, in large part because of our congregant, Sheila Gordon, and her efforts to make sure that this event took place here. Ben?
Thank you, Rabbi. By way of greeting, I'd like to say, please turn off your cell phones, your smartphones, smart-ass phones. Well, this is what Kathy wanted. No, not me being introduced by a rabbi, but Jewish first time, yes. But she did tell Sam and her family and buddies that she wanted us to have a party with music, live music, lots of it, and lots of kinds of music. That's what she's about, and that's what we'll be doing later on today. And yet, even a month later, it's a shock to think that we're gathered here because she's not here. It is a cliche to say, oh, she's still here. But I respect cliches, at least the ones that sound or are true, or that you want to believe. So, Kathy's still here. And later downstairs, those who wish to perform a song with Los Trainwreck will have to silently sign up on her clipboard and then rock out for her. For now, we have a number of family and friends who will remember and eulogize Kathy. Speaking of family, I do want to send our love to Betty, to Michael, to Paul Kamen, to Joe and Tony and Marissa, go Mark, to Sam, to Daniel, to Laura, and to Dave Barry. Before I bring on our speakers, a quick personal flashback. I've known Kathy since somewhere in the mid-70s. I spent several hours each Sunday afternoon at KSAN, the Jive 95 studios on Sansom Street, around Clay, I think. I did a DJ show, and Kathy would often be there hanging out with her boyfriend, the station's production director, Rick Sadel. But Kathy never just hung out. She was also working for the Population Institute, a nonprofit that sent out safe-sex messages aimed at teenagers. Soon enough, she recruited me to get rock and pop stars to do interviews that would result in public service announcements for the radio. I got her Michael Jackson and his brother Marlon, Boz Scaggs, Grace Slick, and a few others, and a friendship was born. And it only got stronger with time, as 1,000 others, men and women, could say, I fell in love with her. She was a soul sister in so many ways. I'll mention a few of those ways as I introduce today's speakers. Right now, I'd like to bring up the first to prove my point about falling in love with Kathy. Laura Barry, daughter of Kathy's husband Sam, was one of the most devoted people at her bedside at UC San Francisco Medical Center, offering not only comfort and words of love, but also keeping check with the medical staff to be certain Kathy was getting the best possible care. Laura had known Kathy only a few years. No matter, to know her was to love her. And by the way, I think Kathy would want this. Please feel free to applaud the speakers and the musicians. Kathy appreciated appreciation, and she loved Laura.
It's impossible to describe Kathy. Words like creative, compassionate, driven, and extraordinary don't begin to encompass the many great qualities she possessed. The life that Kathy lived, the community of people she always had around her, and the countless gifts she gave the world say more about her than words ever could. Because of who Kathy was, her generous and genuine soul, I can say with confidence that everyone in this room shared a unique and beautiful relationship with her. Perhaps the greatest tribute to Kathy has been the amazing amount of love and support my family and I have been given in this difficult time. We thank you for that. This memorial service and celebration is the result of a great deal of generosity and hard work, and we are so grateful to all of you for helping us honor Kathy's extraordinary life. I was taught so much by Kathy. I learned how to sing harmony with my dad on the countless calls we made to people to sing happy birthday. I learned how to have an unconventional kazoo-filled saber, how to go on stage at the drop of a hat, how to clip buttons, knickknacks, and costume jewelry, and how to take life a little less seriously, a tall task for a teenage girl. The ups and downs of my moody adolescence are just one example of the many challenges Kathy handled with remarkable grace and kindness. While many would slip into fear and depression after a difficult diagnosis, Kathy decided to write a book documenting her battle with breast cancer and my father's with colon cancer. Her title for this book, she would proudly announce, was Tits and Ass. The thing about Kathy that always amazed me was her ability to create. She would not just talk about an idea, she would make it happen. From joke gifts to novels, from bands to birthday parties, when Kathy had a dream, no matter how seemingly impossible, she would realize it. More than any other quality, this creativity, I think, is what made her the extraordinary person we are all here to celebrate. Not only did she make wonderful things happen, she encouraged others to do the same. There's no way to express how much Sam and Kathy gave to each other throughout their relationship. She brought a tremendous amount of adventure and light into my dad's life. And seeing them together was to know a great love. It took me years to realize that not everybody's parents were running around playing the rock bands and They shared a full and vibrant life, and I got to learn from the very best how to live and love to the fullest. In our last few weeks with us, Kathy continued to make us laugh, sing, and helped us to celebrate every moment. More than anything, though, she continued to love us. This was always Kathy's way. Once you were in her life, you could count on always being in her heart as well. I miss her hugs, her laugh, her smile, her overwhelming desire to give to and help everyone in her life. I miss her songs, her silly pranks, the love she brought to my dad. I will never be able to thank her enough for being such a wonderful parent, teacher, confidant, and friend to me. As we go on from here, let us always remember Kathy's ability to find joy and celebration in life's twists and turns. Let us do our best to meet life's challenges with half of the grace and good humor that she had. Thank goodness that we have so many friends around us to help carry on Kathy's spirit, because we have an awful lot of leopard print shoes to fill. Thank you.